Brett, when you're looking at a Brad Stevens team, and I know you've talked about the elite level of defense they play, what else impresses you about a Brad Stevens? What other characteristics stick out about a Brad Stevens coach team?
I mean, I think they're just organized. They're just organized offensively, defensively. They're purposeful in what they do, and they're hard to guard. I think he's good on trying to, find areas of the game that challenge us defensively. I think that defensively, schematically, he's learned playing us as many times as he's played us. The Horford, like Ben Simmons matchup as an example, probably the most blatant example, has served them well. And so I think when you ask that question, for me, playing against them, coaching against him, I think that they're purposeful and I think they're organized.
Coach, you've talked before about your first trip ever to TD Garden, taking pictures with your Polaroid of Dr. J. As a kid from Maine, from SoPo, how special has it been to be kind of a part of the rebirth of this Boston-Philly rivalry? I mean, it's special for so many reasons. You choose probably the obvious one when you grow up in New England. And, you're just so proud of the Celtics. You watch them as a kid. And, the trip from Maine to the Boston Garden was a special trip when you're 7 years old and 6 and 9 and all that. And I did it every year. And then you go to Boston University, and I work in the city for 2 years. And so the Maine connection, Boston University connection, to just be back in the city and to run along the Charles today, along Storrow Drive and, run past Boston University, it all just, you're flooded with memories. And then you go to the things that matter most, like the rivalry, the history of these two organizations, which is what really we should be talking about. The package is meaningful to me.
Brett, they've kind of conceded getting offensive rebounds in order to slow you guys down, stop you in transition. Is there anything you feel on your end you can do to mitigate that a little bit, or does it just come down to you have to execute better in the half court, knowing that that's how they're going about this?
I think a little bit of both. When you look at, if you're talking about they conceded, ask that again. You think they conceded?
They're fanning out quickly. And
yeah.
The offensive glass and the manner.
Yeah. So is your question more the fan outs? I'm confused on what you're asking.
No, so is there anything you can do
when they fan out?
No. No. Is there anything you guys can do, like having Ben play faster, having Ben catch and go on defensive rebounds versus getting them from Joel? I know rebounding.
I hear you talking about our pace going the other way now.
Yes.
Yeah, good. I got you. It's all good. I got it. Yeah, it's all right. We all get confused from time to time. Because you've hit gold. I'm with you. I think that the pace of which we play, and it's true, like they are so good on getting back, and they do see, they do provide a wall for Ben. Ben had 12 defensive rebounds the last game. TJ's injection into the starting lineup the last time allowed us to play with pace. Maybe with Larkins being out, they've played 12 games in the playoffs. Maybe there's an advantage there where we can, play faster. I've said from day one that we do play fast. We want to play fast. I think the fact that we only had, 10 turnovers the last time that we played, I believe, a low number is massive against these guys. Usually that frantic pace can equal some crazy turnovers. I hope it equals more three-point looks, in early offense. I hope Cove can be the recipient of some of those. The fact is we really haven't jumped into this series in a very good way shooting the ball. And I think, to your point, if the game gets a little bit of a fist fight and is half-court driven, that probably doesn't favor us that much. And so I hope that you're right. I want to do it. Your point about Ben, rebounding and leading the break, but just in general are some of the key points for us to be able to run.
Brett, a series like this,
often game to game is about adjustments, what they do. And you expect them, I'm sure, to adjust to your lineup change and how you came out the other night. How many scenarios have you gone through in your head trying to figure out, okay, this is what I think they might do, and how have you prepared for those eventualities? Right.
It's a fair question, Bob. You know, the obvious guess would be they're going to start Jaylen Brown and Marcus is going to come off the bench, and then you get into, okay, you know, who's guarding TJ, and if we start TJ or Ben or whatever. And, you know, you toggle with all of it. And I think that when you shrink it down into like common things so that it doesn't end up calculus, it's just still math. You're still choosing just basic stuff no matter what goes on. You know, there's one thing that we can do to counter this. And I don't really want to have to completely overthink it. I think that would be a mistake. I feel like we got clarity as coaching staff, offense, defense, of what does it mean based on matchups. I feel very strong and confident and comfortable with that, but we've thought about it a lot.
Hi, Brett. Had a question about the Coaching Association's vote for Coach of the Year. A little surprised that Brad didn't get a vote.
I really only know case one. I didn't know that they even tabled the votes. You're saying he didn't get a vote?
He didn't get a vote.
He should have got a vote. I would vote for him. He would get a vote from me. I think I'm thrilled that Casey got recognized. I really think that, you know, he is incredibly deserving. He is the Coach of the Year. I think Brad is right in that mix as well. I think the job that he's done, you know, with Gordon going out, with Kyrie going out, you know, I respect how they've designed their team. I think Danny's done a great job of like rolling out athletes and drafting well, and they're long and they're physical. I think the combination of all that, it's a great organization. I think Brad's done a heck of a job, and I didn't know he didn't get a vote. He deserved the vote.
How do you strike the balance between the urgency that a game like this requires, but also that aspect of having the team play free, as it has been as of late?
I mean, you can't sort of completely construct or manipulate the way people are driven, you know, their DNA, their spirit, how they just play. And I think that we play best loose. And I don't want them rigid. And so, you know, whether it's a shoot around, we had a nice team dinner last night, you know, we stay together. I want them playing free and fast. I want them shooting open shots when they have them. To think like you're going to get at times better looks isn't true. Oftentimes in playoff basketball, the first good look is the shot that should be taken, most times. And, you know, the youth has something to do with that. I think the DNA of some of even our older players equals, you know, like we're ready to play basketball. And I want to coach loose. I want them to play loose. And to me, that's when I know, and they've taught me this, that we are at our best.
Thanks, Brett.
Thank you.